All right, guys. So episode number 12, finally. It's been a little bit. We had a little bit of a break, but big one today with AKA founder and AKA Thailand co-owner, Javier Mendez, the trainer of champions. You know, obviously Daniel Cormier is current champion in UFC. Also has had many other champions through the years. Good friend of mine, mentor and trainer of mine for many years. I think you're a big fan of his.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah, he's like just. What can I say? The guy's an unbelievable coach, great businessman. I mean, honestly, I consider him a friend, believe it or not.
So you're not going to pause and freak out and be all starstruck, are you?
No. But, man, I will listen when he talks, though.
Yeah.
He tells some good stories. So.
All right. And so we recently posted the outtakes. Actually, you know that, right? We posted that?
Yeah, I live with you.
Okay, I'm just making sure. And we posted the outtakes video, so check that out. It's the silliest. You've been wanting to post that one, actually. I'm the one that's been putting the halt on that for the longest time.
It's like 2 months old.
Yeah, it's 2 months old. So O.J. Simpson is now out of prison and probably coming straight for Mark for his comments.
There are some O.J. Simpson jokes in there.
Yeah, so what we did was like 3 a.m. one night, and we were bored, and we decided to just sit down and get dressed up and do an analyst.
Make it sound like we're 9-year-old girls at a slumber party.
Well, it's kind of like that. And
we pillow fought. All that's in there.
We were being analysts to a night out of Muay Thai that we had that night. So that's why it was so late. And we were just going to kind of commentate as if we were, it's a long story and it's really stupid. But anyway, the outtakes turned out to be better than the segment.
Yeah, we'll never do commentating again.
Yeah, so
that's not our cup of tea.
Yeah, so we decided to upload that. So that was our recent upload yesterday. So check that out if you can. It's only 4 minutes. And then you can judge for yourself if we're giving Joe Rogan and John Anik and DC a run for their money.
Anybody.
Yeah. Anybody.
We're horrible.
Yeah, it didn't come out so good.
Which is why we need to stick to.
We didn't know we didn't know what we were doing, and I think we were delirious because it was just so late, and then we got off track a little bit too much.
We had a good time.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get right to it.
You get to see the fun side of us a little bit.
Shout out to our sponsors, MikeSwick.com, AKA Thailand, the #1 MMA fitness and Muay Thai gym in the world. I know you love when I say that. Big team right now. It's going great. High season starting. It's getting really cool here. Starfish Concept and Vicious Circle. So
yeah,
there's our sponsors.
4 of my favorite sponsors, by the way.
Yeah. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and bring on Javier Mendez, trainer to the stars.
Is he here or is it Skype?
I think he's going to be right there. He's going to actually pop up right there.
Here he comes.
Hey, wait, hang on. Right. Oh. So Javier Mendez, one of my best friends, my trainer, and for many years, and the founder of AKA. Welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Thanks for having me on board. I know this is the 10th or 11th episode?
You are number 12.
I'm number 12.
Yeah.
Wow, very nice. It's nice to be thought of like that. Thanks,
we wanted
guys.
to give you something to look at so you can see you can judge where we're going.
Nice guys on there, whatever. Little Mickey Rourke. You had Dana. Who are those guys? Whatever.
We're trying to show the world. That's the point.
Yeah. All right. Well, you should have shown me the first one. You know how that goes.
We were so nervous to have you on. We wanted to get the easy ones out of the way.
We want to have fun with you, Jav.
Yeah.
You're the fun one.
You want to get experience, Mark, because you're nervous when I come on board?
When you're next to me, I am, in person.
You seem pretty nervous when you had Mickey on there. You were just mum as nothing. You were like a mummy.
Well, I'm not used to you guys.
Came out of your mouth.
Y'all hang out with celebrities and big fighters and all that stuff. You're the biggest star I've ever met.
Yeah, right.
He might have dressed up better today than for Dana White.
Yeah, look at this, man.
Nah, he looked pretty good when he was with the. Oh no, the episode you sent me yesterday, he was pretty dressed up on that one. A little bit better than he is now.
It's the same clothes.
Did you have dark pants?
No,
it wasn't. This is a new shirt.
No. Oh,
we're talking about the. I sent him the one with the. So if you haven't seen it, guys, the outtakes episode #1 where we were
that was like
silly.
That was like 2
months ago.
Yeah, 2 months
before
ago.
OJ got out because you were talking shit about OJ and.
Well, it's O.J. Simpson.
You look really sharp, Mark.
There you go, buddy.
Oh, where are you at?
I'm over here.
What? Hold on.
You hear me?
That AKA Thailand shirt.
Yeah, what shirt
sharp.
are you wearing? Let's see that one.
I don't have many shirts, so this is about the only shirts I have. So somebody was kind enough to send me a dozen of them.
Is it because I sent you so many of them to the gym? I sent like a year's worth of shirts.
It's the only one you need, man.
It's the only one I wear. I don't wear the red ones though, because the red ones make me look too fat. You know, the black ones kind of slim me down a little bit.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's all I wear is red.
There goes all the sales of our red AK shirts.
Yeah, thanks, Hoff.
Thanks, Hoff. Appreciate it.
Well, the thing is, when you're fat like I am, red doesn't flatter me
You're
too
not
much.
fat, Hoff.
Black hides it.
Buddy, you're 42 years old. You can wear what you want now, you know?
No, you can't wear what you want. No. In your mind, you think you can, but once you put it on and you look in the mirror, you just go, oh, my God, no, I'm not wearing that. No.
Well, Mike made me dress now. He taught me. I appreciate that.
I'm trying to help him out.
Yeah, he's got some style.
So I know what your next question is, Javier, and to go ahead and answer it, AKA Thailand is doing fantastic. It's doing outstanding. Things are going great. Wish you were here.
Yeah, I mean, I love being there. You know, it's awesome. You know, it's just the problem is I go down there, it's not enough time. You know,
yeah.
The time is time to go back home. It's like shit. I was just starting to enjoy it. You know, and getting used to being there and seeing how the lifestyle is over there, and you know, the great training. You know, and it was a pleasure to be there. It's just I can't get there too often. You know.
You know what's cool is when we built this gym, it's cool that like, you know, we had the fighters coming up and we're building fighters and trying to do the same thing that you did with AKA. And it's cool now to like have fighters that we kind of built at AKA Thailand, sending them back to headquarters and back and forth. And the first kind of like ping pong ball is like Salim. You know, he's our
I was
first.
going to say crossover, but
Yeah, ping pong ball, same thing.
It's a different meaning in Thailand.
Yeah, Salim's a great kid. You know,
Salim's
super,
awesome.
super talented. You know, great attitude, very dedicated, very loyal. You know, and hard worker. You know, definitely. You know, Mike. You know, Dana, if you're hearing this, you know, you need to get Salim on there in the UFC. You guys won't be disappointed.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And it's good to see him like, man, he's living his dream. You know, he came into AKA Thailand and like, I mean, he's fulfilled everything. He's been having so much fun. He fights Muay Thai on the side to gain experience. He grew up with AKA Thailand, kind of like, you know, coming up the ranks and becoming who he sort of became. And then he went to AKA headquarters, which was a huge dream of his from the beginning, you know, to go train with you and train with the main guys down there. And now he's back and forth and like, man, he's loving life right now. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. You know, isn't he training with Roger Huerta right now?
Yeah. So we got Roger Huerta at AKA Thailand now. We got James McSweeney. Amir Aliakbari's got in yesterday. He's coming in tomorrow. Anastasia Yankova, of course. I mean, our team is a powerhouse right now. So
Jeff's back?
Jeff's back, Jeff Wynn. So Salim's going to train with, since Roger just joined the team, he's going to train with Roger for another month before he heads back to you at headquarters because they make perfect training partners. You know, they're close to the same size, and he loves Roger, and they went together pretty good yesterday. Like, they had a good sparring session, good grappling, so.
Well, what about Mark? When are we getting him to fight? I mean, didn't he fighting somebody soon, some celebrity guy or something?
48,500 subscribers from now. So he's not training quite yet, but
don't need to.
He will. He will eventually.
You don't need to train, Mark. Don't worry about it.
I'm coming to San Jose to train.
You don't need to train. No, you don't need to come here.
He doesn't want me to help him train for some reason.
Podcast. You'll get experience there, bro. Trust me.
Hey, hold on, Mike. I love you. Javier Mendez, Mike Swick. Come on,
he's just
man.
mad at me because of the Shia LaBeouf, because I said he put up a tough fight against you, and
I'd kick the shit out of him. But, you know, I need somebody that has my back.
I have your back.
My question is,
I had your back when I choked you out.
Well played.
Mark, did you beat the shit out of him while Swick choked you out? And in that choke-out period is when you beat him, or
did I
was
tap?
it after you woke up?
Conor McGregor tapped twice. I didn't tap.
Hey, we had confirmation from Dana, who actually saw the episode, and said you didn't have time to tap because Senior Swick put you out quite fast.
I don't think that's.
I think that's what he said. He may not have said Senior Swick, but he did say I put you out quite fast.
That's not what went down.
I think it went down pretty much like that.
You did tap out pretty quick, Mark.
I didn't tap out.
Like,
no, I fell asleep quickly.
You were out. You went to sleep.
Yeah, his conscience tapped out.
That to me, to some degree, is a tap out because you did go to sleep, even though you didn't tap out.
Let's just call it tap out from now on, just because Hoff said that. I mean, Hoff knows more than all of us, so let's just go ahead and just say you tapped out.
Okay, the rule.
Yeah, I think so.
I literally cuddled up to Mike into the right position for him to do it. I let him put those big arms of his around my throat or my neck, whatever you want to call it. And I let him. I mean, yeah, I'm supposed to go out quickly. So,
like you said, Javier's way up here. We're down here. So, I mean, he wants to call it tap out. We'll call it tap out from now on, just, just to make it even.
Hey, you going to come corner me, though?
I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about
He
that.
might need a world champion kickboxer because right now he's got, like, Mickey Rourke, and Mickey Rourke's a boxer. He's got Mark Hunt. He's an MMA fighter. He's got Nick, who's a AFL football player. Not going to be a whole lot of help, on the whole Muay Thai thing.
He's more the after party.
And he's got me, who's, who he thinks
yeah,
he thinks I'm going for Shia LaBeouf.
I don't want to, I don't want to come in and spoil the party a little bit per se, and interfere with the great training you're getting.
So you're the first guest to say no. Just go ahead and thank you very much.
I humbly decline because I'm your good friend, and I just don't want to interfere with the training you're getting.
What if I pay for you?
How much?
Well, not for your services. I'll pay for your flight.
No, buddy.
No.
See, there's a little thing you should learn about Javier Mendez. Javier Mendez doesn't like to travel too much. He's not a overseas traveling type of dude. You know what I mean? So you got to really motivate him.
I'll fight shirtless.
If I'll tell you what, you want me to train you, go set up a camp in Vegas.
Yeah,
in Vegas. Yeah, I'll see you
with a 3-card table. So you
Yeah,
have
I figured,
the mats, a 3-card table. And,
No, 4-card.
Yeah, a
Crazy
4-card.
four.
Is it 4-card now? All right.
Yeah. Set up a gymnasium at Planet Hollywood, and I'm there.
There it
bro.
is, Planet
You got
Hollywood.
me for
Yeah.
free.
That's your
You weren't
spot.
allowed in Planet Hollywood, remember that?
Yeah, I got kicked out of there. I got kicked out of
You
Planet
get
Hollywood.
kicked out. No, it's not a bad story. You just didn't have an ID that could let you in there.
Yeah, I was like 32 or 3 or
You were on
something.
all their TVs.
No,
an
I
hour
was like
before,
35 or
but
6. It was not that
Yeah,
long
you
ago.
were 34, 35 or 6. Yeah,
And you were playing?
They knew your age. They just
First of all, it
they
was
kicked you out.
July 19th, 2015. But, who's
Okay,
counting?
so I was 37, 36. 36. So it's funny how I appreciate how you're like the VIP of Planet Hollywood, and as I was getting kicked out, you just never stopped looking at your cards.
He had a good hand.
Wow, Hav. Thank you.
Hey, I was in a row. What
I'm like,
were you
yo,
gonna do?
Hav.
I couldn't help you. Like, I didn't want to get kicked out with you.
Well, clearly you didn't.
What was that going to help?
Yeah, well, no, you didn't help at all.
The way they're going to let you in. When they have their mindset, You can't change it.
I'm like, I know that guy right there, the VIP with all those chips. Just can I talk to him for a second? They're like, no, you don't have an ID. I'm like, I'm
No, that's
36 years old.
You look 26, though,
That's true. I'll take it as a compliment.
especially in those skinny jeans.
Oh, God, enough of that, dude.
Yeah, that's what I've been
So,
saying.
okay, I had to adapt with the times, Javier, and I had to change my style a little bit because over here, you have that European style, especially the Russians and the Russia style. So I had to adapt my style a little bit so I fit in. He's still in the high school pant wearing style where they're all baggy and
Where I can bend my knees.
So I got him halfway. I'm 50-50 with him because I got his shirt's nice, where he's got nice fitted shirts, looks real sharp, but he's still with the high school baggy jeans, and then he's ragging on me because I'm looking fresh and fly. I don't get it.
Hav, would you ever wear skinny jeans?
It's fitted jeans.
Oh, no. Skinny
No,
jeans
skinny-
on me
it's
with a
fitted
fat
to a
belly
skeleton.
don't mix.
Yeah. Let's retract a little bit. So a skinny jean is like just all the way around your leg, right? It's completely suffocating your leg. That's a skinny jean. It's more of a fitted jean. It's more like not baggy. Like yours are like we could both fit in your jeans. Not that we'd want to, yeah, but we could.
Anyway, moving on. That's another episode.
Anyway, so
100,000 subscribers, I'll buy a pair of skinny jeans.
okay.
There you go.
Well, you said you'd never do it, so we're making progress. All right.
Javier makes me happy.
What 100,000 subscribers, you'll be able to afford that for sure.
You're buying anyway.
Whatever. Oh fuck. All right. So,
Anyway, moving on.
what's new at AK headquarters, Javier? Give us some insight to the fighters and what's new, and what am I missing by being over in Thailand right now?
Just a lot of the mess that always goes on, where I have to keep everybody together. Got problems here, got problems there. Always. Habib's back in training for a fight December 30th up in Las Vegas. Daniel's not necessarily started camp yet, but he's doing a lot of the commentating, for Fox Sports and and all the pay-per-view on the UFC side. Cain is, comes in every so often, but mostly he's expecting, his wife's expecting a baby boy soon.
That's
so
awesome.
He's spending time there. And once the baby's done, born, I'm sorry, then he'll be back on track and coming in more often. And I'm sure once the UFC and him make up an opponent and a date, he'll be back on. And Luke Rockhold spending time with Henry Hooft over there in Florida, He's been doing that for a few years, so he's over there right now.
Yeah, Cain's never been one to lag, so we know he'll be back for sure the second that he gets that opponent. And congratulations to Cain for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Having a baby. Daniel was on the podcast. That was a good one. Daniel was Daniel, as he always is, Mr. Personality.
Yeah.
Doing a fantastic job as a commentator. So he's doing great. And then Khabib, I wanted to ask you about Khabib anyway. So we're all excited to see him fight again and know how his training is going. He's probably the most requested guest on our side that people want to see is Khabib, because he doesn't get in the media very often. So everybody wants to hear from him. So, I mean, long story short, his training, is it going good or everything's going?
Yeah, he showed up last week. He's going to have actually a 9-week training camp.
Nice.
He showed up better in every department that he has in the past. His striking is better than it was the last time he was here at this particular time. His grappling has improved again at another level. So I didn't find anybody at his weight that could deal with him on the grappling end, and I sure as hell don't see anybody even coming close to him now. He's improved that tremendously. And basically, he said that he got some advice from Luke Rockhold that really upped his game, And if you watch Luke, and everybody's really, has the knowledge in the MMA world, in the grappling, you really watch Luke, and you got to just be amazed at how great he is on the ground and top control. I don't think there's anybody in the UFC that's got the type of top control that Luke Rockhold has. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And Khabib's wrestling is just, until you wrestle with him and feel that balance, or that, I guess, unbalanced stability that you have when you're wrestling with him, it's crazy, And like, now that I'm seeing his striking come along and getting better and better, man, he's just becoming more and more of a dangerous fighter. It's like, who's going to beat that guy?
Yeah, I mean, sure, as we all know, it's those little gloves and anything can happen, but I don't see anybody beating Khabib.
Yeah.
I really don't. He keeps improving all the time, and the biggest thing about him is not only his skill level, but his mindset. His mindset is so strong that he's just not going to allow anybody to beat him. He's just not.
Yeah, he's a tough dude. I'm still trying to get him to come out here to AKA Thailand, but he's just so busy. So he's sent guys over, but he hasn't made it himself yet. He's one place to another, and then he's in fight camp again.
Yeah, he's kind of hard to corner down for almost anything now these days. A lot of these guys, when they become superstars, and he is definitely a superstar now, it is very difficult to get anything with him because he's got so many people tugging at him, Yeah,
so speaking of that, superstars and stuff, how was it for you? I mean, you were in the beginning, obviously. We formed you went from kickboxing to MMA, and then the team was formed, and then the guy started making it later on and getting big. How was that transition for you when you first started seeing the stars coming up and making that great success, coming from kickboxing and now knowing you had one of the best MMA gyms in the world?
Yeah, first originally it all started with Paul Varlins that came to my gym because of Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson was my student, and he basically invited Paul Varlins to come over, and that's how it all started. With Brian Johnson inviting Paul Varlins to come over to spar, and as a result of that, Brian wanted to do the UFC. So I knew Art Davies at that time because I had gotten a few of my kickboxing world champions involved with the K1 USA, and I had called Art Davies in regards to the UFC, and I said, I have a kid named Brian Johnston, he's, this and that, and I have a good friend of mine, Mike Swain, who was the first American to win the Judo Worlds, for the USA. Yep. And since then, I think we've only had one other person. I think Jimmy Pedro's the other one that's ever won a world in the men's division. So, that's pretty... That's pretty good, and it tells you how hard it is to accomplish that feat. If we've only had 2 world champions, in judo, Right. So anyways, I had Mike Swain vouch for Brian. We got Brian involved in the UFC. As a result of Brian, the first star I got was Frank Shamrock, and from Frank Shamrock, came BJ Penn, and once BJ Penn came, Frank Shamrock decided to do Frank Shamrock Submission Academy. As you know, you were one of the first members.
Yeah.
And you passed his test and whatnot. And back at that particular time,
let's go back to that test.
You guys at all. I just watched you guys, and and I used to watch Frank just put you guys through hell. And I actually was afraid that he was going to get me closed down because, man, he beat the piss out of you guys. I just didn't get it. I was looking at the way he trained you guys, and I'm like, are these guys even going to live? My God, it was crazy. You guys throwing up all over the place, and at times Frank would just choke some of the guys out and just leave them on the ground and move on to the next one. It's pretty crazy.
He was from that old school, that tough mentality, man, and like he wanted to make sure that you had the heart to be a fighter, and he definitely went about getting that out of us. And that tryout, I remember, man, that was brutal tryout.
Yeah, it was brutal. And the funny thing about that is he said if they have the heart for the tryouts, and I was used to tell him, I go, Frank, shouldn't you be looking for the ability? I mean, it's ability I think is more important than the heart, because at some point there's some guys that are so damn good that they can go to a super, super high level before their heart really gets tested, And at that particular time when he was doing that, I mean, he flunked Josh Thomson. He didn't want him on the team. Yeah. He did not want Josh Thomson on the team. And it was Crazy Bob Cook, that said, no, we need to take this guy. And Frank was, nah, guy's a pussy. Nah. And look what happens. Josh Thomson becomes a Strikeforce world champion and one of the best fighters in the world, And, basically Bob proved that the kid had it. Bob believed in Josh, and look what happened, And
I want to say
that mentality of getting people to go train and make them puke in this, there is something good to that, but you should be paying more attention to their ability, not how far they're willing to go.
And Josh Thomson too, not only one of the original guys on the team, but he's one of the most well-rounded guys on the team. I mean, the guy knows everything. I mean, he's from his wrestling to his striking to every aspect. He's always one of the guys I looked up to as being one of the most well-rounded guys on the team since the beginning, since I first got there.
Yeah, no, he was. He was always looking for better ways to improve himself. Because, Josh, back then we used to call him the punk, and there was a good reason why we call him the punk, because he really was a punk. And now it's just a name, because he's not a punk anymore. He's more of a help for the team, helping keep the team strong, more than anything. But back then he was crazy. You remember, he got in a fight with everybody. He got in a fight with you, for God's sake.
Yeah, we didn't go to blows, but I remember pulling Mike Kyle off of him.
Yeah,
I remember he got in a fight with Mike Kyle, and he chose to fight Mike Kyle after a sparring session, so he was already tired, and he was wearing gloves. Mike Kyle was out of gloves. And then he picked a fight, which was so unfair because it's a 155-pounder with gloves on against a heavyweight with no gloves on. And it was me and Koscheck that had to pull Mike Kyle off of him. And they were going at it hard. And, it was literally Koscheck on one arm. I was on the other arm. And we're just, pulling Mike Kyle off. And he's just like, you guys leave me alone or I'm going to fight you guys too. And we're just like, okay. We have no choice. What can we do, And we broke it up and everybody shook hands. And that was just another day at the office, but... Yeah,
he just attacked him. Yeah. Remember, he just attacked him. Mike was in the ring. Josh ran up, jumped into the ring, and started attacking Mike Kyle.
Yeah.
I was like, my mind, I go, what the hell is he doing? There's so many situations that Josh did that to so many people. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the old days were crazy. I'm thinking the days even with Phil Baroni and all of us sparring together, and Frank especially when he would get in there and man. If we had a camera for those days, some of those sparring rounds, people wouldn't believe how hard we went and how crazy it got. That much pride, and that many warriors in one place at one time, and we were just man, we were killing each other for a while there.
Yeah, yeah. Phil was always trying to get into the gym. He'd try to get in through different people, and it wasn't to this one individual that used to do a website named Michael. Nah, I forgot the guy's last name, but it was Michael who told me that Phil Baroni's a good guy, this and that. Because before that, I just based Phil on what I seen on the social media and the UFCs. You know, he looked like an effing jerk, you know, and I didn't want nothing to do with the guy in my gym. So this guy Mike told me that he's a good guy. You should meet him. So I took Phil in based on that. So the very first thing I did is I brought Phil in my office and I told him, I said, you know, in MMA, there's actually two people I don't like, you know, and I don't know them, but I don't like them, and you're one of them. And he's looking at me like, what?
What do you say? What do you say to that?
And all he says to me, he goes, well, I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is all the friends that I've had in high school, I'm still friends with them now. And I just kind of went, huh. That's pretty impressive. So I said, all right, I'll give him a shot. Well, it turns out, you know, he is a great guy. He does have his moments, you know, but, you know, I become really good friends with Phil, you know, and I have a lot of respect for Phil. And yeah, but he's funny as hell. Oh my God. In the gym, you've seen the wars we've had with him and the shouting matches I've had with him. Oh my God.
He's got a lot of pride too. But that being said though, he was always a good training partner because he was always the one that you could get in there and fight and go, and he'll go, you know, he'll go anytime. And, you know, so he was always there, never backing down. And, so he did his part for sure.
Yeah. He never backed down from anybody.
No.
He sparred anybody. He went for it all the time.
I think we were opposite though, because we both had our tantrums, you know, when we wouldn't get our way and we'd have our bad days. But we were kind of opposite in how we handled it. He was more like the destructive, like break things kind of guy, and I was just more like the kind of like figure out a way to like just show my anger but not waste too much energy because I was so tired from sparring and I didn't want to disrespect you.
Do you remember the story about you and your tantrum and Phil's tantrum? On one day, Mark, this is what happens. On one day, I have Phil Baroni all pissed off because I made him get off the ring. Phil wanted to spar. He'd grab the ropes and he's yelling at me, let me spar, I want to spar. And just throwing a tantrum, and I'm like, get the fuck out. Get down, get your ass out of here. So he goes to the locker room, puts a hole in the locker and on the wall, right? Puts a hole in the wall. Typical Phil Baroni, right? So now, Mike Swick, maybe a week or two later, he has a tantrum because I wanted him to stop sparring too, and he wanted to spar too. He had a shoe. He had his shoe in his hand, and he's looking at somewhere to throw it where he don't damage anything. So he's looking through the wall. He goes, I'm not going to throw it the window. I'm not going to do this. And I'm cracking up because here's this guy. He's pissed off, but at the same time he's pissed off, he doesn't want to damage anything. So I'm like, I just had to laugh. It was
so
like,
what do you do with it?
I threw it at a heavy bag. I think.
My gym. He doesn't. He's thinking of himself because he wants to spar, but he's still thinking of my gym, and he don't want to destroy any property. So
yeah, I've seen that part of it.
Part I have about him.
What I gotta ask though. What was your first thoughts of Mike when you first met him? Not maybe the day or whatever, but as you see him spar and work and all that stuff. Think he had what it took?
Well, we used to call him Kid Lion. That was the name he had named himself, Kid Lion. And,
at 16.
What impressed me about Mike is that speed. He had incredible speed, and he'd go for it. He wouldn't know how to slow himself down, but man, when you got him pissed off, he'd come at you full speed, and he had a lot of speed, and he hit really hard. So it was kind of dangerous if you got him pissed off because he'd go for it.
But I was like spazzing out all the time, so there was like. I was more known for spazzing out because like I would get all angry.
30 seconds, right?
I would get like emotional and angry at the gym. So like if someone was getting the better of me, I would just spazz out and try and kill them. And it worked sometimes and sometimes it didn't. But yeah, that was my downfall, I think. And I carried that into a few fights, which I won, and then a few fights that maybe it didn't help me so much.
Remember the one time it didn't work out for you when you wanted to spar Jimmy Zimmerman, and I told you just in boxing, and I told you no. I said, no, I don't want you to spar with him. And you go, no, I want to spar with him. I go, no, not going to spar with him. And you said, Hob, how am I going to get better? I'm going to spar with him. I said, no, Swick, you don't want to spar with him, just boxing. No. He goes, no, I want to spar with him. So I said, you kept bugging me. So I said, fine, okay. But remember, I told you so.
Yeah.
So Swick started sparring with Jimmy.
Jimmy's like one of the best spars in the gym, and he's like a heavyweight. What weight is he? He's like
He was like 190 maybe at the heaviest,
short,
maybe
thick,
195.
Really good boxer, bro.
What did he do to you?
Oh, he fucked me up so bad.
But he was a really good boxer, and Swick got messed up so bad. Swick goes to me, goes, Hob, don't ever let me do that shit again. And I go, don't worry. I said, don't worry, I won't let you do it again.
No, but to be honest with you, Jimmy kicked my ass before a lot of my fights, honestly. Like, he for whatever reason, like, he happened to be the guy I would spar with before a lot of my fights at the end. And I don't know how I came out of it, because he would, like, beat me up so bad that I would be like, fuck, man. I don't know where my confidence came from. And most of those fights I won. For some reason, every time Jimmy would beat me up, and he's not an MMA fighter, he's just a boxer, right? But he would beat me up, and then I would somehow win those fights for some reason. But, man, if you saw the sparring session, holy shit, man. I got my shit pushed in. Where's he at now?
I don't know who that is. Jimmy Zimmerman.
Jimmy never really quite made it. He was too busy with work and construction and whatnot, and then he had an injury. And, he never quite made it. He should have been, in the big league, but he never quite made it. He didn't quite have enough fights. I remember the first time, Swick when he sparred Jake Shields for a few times, because Jake was fighting somebody that was kind of similar to Jimmy, and Jake couldn't take him down, could not take Jimmy down. Jake took everybody down. Yeah. He couldn't take Jimmy down. And then Jake goes, God damn, he goes, you're the toughest non-UFC guy I've ever sparred with. I go, shit, how the hell? It was amazing. Jimmy had a cat-like reflex for standing up. Unless you're a super heavyweight like Cain or something like that, very difficult to take Jimmy down.
Yeah, it was crazy because, like here it is, Jimmy's this boxer. He's not an MMA fighter. And I couldn't beat Jake. Jake was my nemesis. I mean, you remember that. Jake was the one guy I couldn't win a round over. Like, I could sometimes get the better cost, or, Fitch, we'd all mix it up together and have our good days, our bad days. But, Jake had my number, man. The way he could take me down and hold me, especially with the gear on, I couldn't get up. His ground was way too good. And I remember watching Jimmy spar Jake, and Jake couldn't take him down. And he won the round because he beat him up on the feet with the boxing. And I was like, wow, man, because it's a boxer who beat up one of the, or not beat up, but technically, won a round against a really, really, at the time, we were all top 5 ranked welterweights, Okay. And it was just amazing to see that, And, like, man, I always wanted to see Jimmy get into MMA and keep pursuing that. Great talent.
Yeah, he didn't beat up Jake, but Jake couldn't take him down.
Yeah.
He couldn't take him down. And the thing of it is that, do you remember when you sparred with Kung Lee?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, some parts I don't remember, but most of it.
You want me to remind you the one thing that happened that was the funny thing you did?
Yes.
When you were sparring with Kung Lee threw a spinning back kick at Swick, hit him right in the gut, and as Swick is going down, Swick's going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you don't see Kung Lee's back kicks.
Hey, has Mike ever won a round in sparring? According to all these stories.
Well, we're only talking about the bad. For the most part, Mike did better than hold his own. I mean, obviously, he's a UFC fighter. He was the top fighter in the world. But we're just talking about the bad times, not all the people he smashed. He smashed quite a few.
What a dick question, dude. He's was my friend. Jesus.
I was making sure. Shit.
Gosh.
Well, yeah, he's got
what a good friend this guy is, huh?
You need to have him around more because he's always got your back. I like it.
But I will say this though: when I fought David Loiseau just fought Rich Franklin he fought for the title. He fought for the championship, and he's the #1 contender. And I fought him to see who the #1 contender was. It was before Travis Lutter jumped ahead of us, but it was supposed to be to fight Anderson Silva. And I fought David Loiseau, and Kung Lee came to the gym, and because Loiseau was so good at that spinning back kick, that's what Kung Lee helped me with the entire time. And if you watch that fight, I went from never doing a spinning back kick in my life to actually landing spinning back kicks on David, and I don't think I took any. And in one training camp. So I owe all that to Kung Lee, because I went from never even doing one to actually landing him on the guy who did him the best in the middleweight division. So he really prepared me for that fight.
And you never got elbowed either.
I never got elbowed. Well, I never gave my back, or when he took my back, or something about he had good back control, or he would get back control, and I never gave him that position. But yeah, Kung Lee was a big help for that. So those soloplex,
yeah. Wow.
I remember
those soloplex shots were worth it.
He had Bill Goldberg, You know, when he used to go and announce the UFC guys or just MMA fighters, do interviews with him. I forgot what it was that he was doing it for, but he wanted to come work out with Kung Lee, and he wanted to hold the kicking shields for Kung Lee to kick, right? Kung Lee lifted him off the ground.
Yeah, he's crazy with his kicks.
He lifted Goldberg off the ground with the spinning back kick.
Damn.
It was unbelievable. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, well, holy shit. Lifted him literally off the ground. And that man, what, Goldberg's about 260, 270 maybe? Yeah. You know, and Kung lifted him off the ground with the spinning back kick.
I mean, you can see now on Instagram, like Kung Lee still, like, every once in a while he'll post videos of himself kicking the bag and stuff, and I don't know how old he is. I mean, you know more than I do, but I mean his kicks are phenomenal still. I mean, like,
yeah. I mean, he's got great control with them, and he's a martial artist through and through. He's not just a fighter; he's a martial artist who continues to evolve, who continues to train. You know, he may not be fighting anymore, but he still trains. Unlike me, I just coach.
So you mentioned BJ Penn, and I'm going to go into that a little bit because a lot of people don't remember that BJ Penn came to AKA. So when BJ Penn got his UFC contract, he got his UFC contract due to the fact that he was a world champion BJJ, jiu-jitsu guy. But he came to AKA and he won all of his fights, basically his first however many fights in the UFC by knockout. I mean, it was cool that he came in and he adapted so well to striking, and he used his BJJ to give himself confidence on the feet, and he would just let it go. And when I first came to AKA, that was kind of, he was there and like going through that whole UFC career thing, and it was pretty cool. A lot of people don't know that, I think.
Yeah, well, this is how I met BJ Penn. I met him through Bobby Southworth. Bobby Southworth came to train with us, and Bobby was the Strikeforce light heavyweight, world champion. And anyways, Bobby Southworth knew BJ Penn through Ralph Gracie. They used to train together at Ralph Gracie's. So BJ, I guess, wanted to come down to the gym, so he came down and introduced himself. Bobby introduced him to me, and BJ and Reagan and the other brothers would come in and train at the gym for striking, And BJ says to me that, hey, Hob, after I win the Worlds, the Brazilian Worlds, Jiu-Jitsu Black Belt Division Championship, because I'm going to come and do MMA with you because I figured you trained Frank Shamrock and I want to be trained by you. So I said, okay, didn't really think much of it, and next thing you know, he wins the Worlds, and sure enough, there he is, shows up right after he won the Worlds. He goes, I'm here. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And he's unbelievable. He improved so much. I would put him in situations with pro boxers, and he literally would beat the hell out of these guys. It was unbelievable what BJ was able to do in his earlier age. I think it was, 21, 22 when he started with us in MMA.
Yeah. Damn.
And he was unbelievable. He would destroy everybody.
It's a cool guy, too, yeah.
That seems so long ago.
Yeah, I know. We're all old now.
Horrible.
So then, so obviously we got, and then Fitch came. So Fitch, I remember Fitch was, I remember not cornering, but I was at one of Fitch's fights at the Stardust Hotel in Vegas before he ever came to AK. He was fighting 205, and he never even sparred before. So when he came to AK, he'd never had a sparring session. He was training with the wrestlers up there at Purdue and some of those guys. And, he never had a sparring session, and then came to AK, and, man, he just grinded his way to the top, literally. I mean, he top 2 in the world for years.
Yeah, with Fitch, I mean, he never took anything negative and dwelled on it. He moved on to positive. If he couldn't get a certain coach to train them, it didn't matter. He'd find somebody he would train with and that would train him. And remember him, Swick, when he was going to go the Ultimate Fighter, I think the second season, and he was all packed up, ready to go. He was at the airport, checked in his luggage, and while he's at the airport, he gets a call from the UFC. They said, "Oh, we declined to actually bring you on board." So here's a guy that had everything ready to go, was accepted. He had his flight, his luggage was in, and he gets a call was at the airport that says that they're not going to use him.
It was the first season.
And then that never stopped him either because he did it by winning more and more fights, and they had to accept him at some point. So he made it. He did everything he was supposed to do, even though he had all these roadblocks. I've never seen so many roadblocks that were put in front of Fitch, and he just broke them all. It didn't matter. Maybe he didn't break them the first time, but he eventually broke them all.
Yeah, it was the first season, actually, and I was with him at the airport, and because he was brought in late, and then, yeah, we were all packed, went to the airport, we were sitting down, getting on the plane, he got a phone call, he answered it, and they said, we restructured the show, and sorry, but there's no room for you anymore, so.
He should have still just gone.
Yeah, and I remember, I was like, oh, shit, and I wanted to go to Vegas at least, right? So I remember cutting my phone off, and I remember thinking, like, I already have my tickets. So I'm getting on that plane, and I'm like, if they tell me in Vegas, you know, you're not on the show, I'll hang out in Vegas for a few days and then go home, whatever. But it was disheartening because I was sad for Fitch because, I mean, we quit our jobs, we told our family, we were going on this big reality show, and like, man, it was heartbreaking. And then we got to Vegas, I turned my phone on, I'm looking at it as the bars or whatever goes, you know, and I'm just like, I was just like so scared, man. But yeah, but then he goes, instead of being down about that, he lost all of his training partners. I mean, he lost me and Bobby and, like, you know, Koscheck and everybody else wasn't there. And he just was training with anybody he could at the gym. I think he had someone at the gym that didn't even have, like, was he missing an arm or a leg or something that was kickboxing?
No, he had a one-legged guy. His only training partner while you guys were out there, his only training partner was a one-legged guy. And you know what? He's a trooper. Yeah. Fitch just kept going through it. He was determined, you know, and it just goes to show you, you know, that the determination mental is better than physical because Fitch was 100% not the most athletic guy, and he'll tell you that himself. But what he had is he had a mental strength that was that of a champion, and therefore that's why he eventually won it, you know. And you know, winning the World Series of Fighting championship was no joke, and he was able to accomplish that. And he actually defended it too against Jake Shields and a couple other guys, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, hey, anybody that fights Jake Shields and you win against Jake Shields, you are legit.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was incredible. That was an incredible win for him. And yeah, like I said, he was top 2 in the world for the longest time. Yeah. I mean, he fought GSP.
Fought St. Pierre, yeah.
Yeah, it went to a decision, and man, tough dude. And like Hav said, something to take note for up-and-coming fighters, that's a guy who came in the gym who didn't have, you know, the speed or the I guess you would say the talent of like being born with some special gift. That was a guy who just worked his ass off and earned everything that he had. And when he earned was being number 2 in the world for like literally 3 or 4 years or whatever, however long it was. So, I mean, that should be inspiration to anybody. You know, you don't have to be born with some special abilities. You just got to work your ass off and be dedicated and motivated.
Right. Kudos to the guy with one leg.
Dude, I swear, that's no bullshit, man. He trained with that guy. He went to Mexico. He won a tournament in Mexico. He had all these crazy fights that nobody heard of, and he just kept training, kept fighting. We're on the show. We're getting all this publicity and becoming famous and all this, and he just kept training, kept training. Then he finally got in the UFC, and every single fight was dark, which means it was prelims, it was not shown, it was not aired. And so he was winning all these UFC fights, and nobody knew. Like, nobody knew because nobody saw him. So I think he was like 5-0 in the UFC or something, 6-0, before he ever had a live fight where people could actually see him.
Damn.
And then he had to earn it, man, the hard way for sure. Yeah. It's crazy.
And he never gave up on himself. Never gave up on himself.
No, he
never.
didn't.
Not one time did he ever give up on himself. Not one time did he bitch about anything. He was never one to complain about anything. Even when I wasn't training him, I put him in with other people, and I trained Koscheck and a few other guys. I didn't even train Swick. And Fitch did what he could do with what he had. He didn't care. If I wasn't going to train him, it didn't matter to him. He was going to make it without me, and he did. He did.
I guess I have to too, since you're not going to train me.
Yeah, and I'm not going to train you either. So I expect you to be successful like Fitch, you know. So
I appreciate
And see, I'm going to go on this a little bit because we got a lot of fighters that come to AKA Thailand. They don't get this, right? So explain to everybody how long it took before you would train me, because everyone thinks like if you're the head trainer of a gym or you know, like in my case, I'm not only the head trainer, but I'm also the CEO of the gym. So I got to do the business, I got to do the marketing, I got to oversee 40 people. You know, my time is limited, but I do, you know, there's a hierarchy of like who you train with the most, and you have to work your way up, and fighters don't get that. So when fighters come to the gym and they see you working with Amir, they see you working with Anastasia, they see you working with the Saleems or whoever it is that happens to be the next big thing or the big fights coming up or whatever, Yeah, they get jealous, you know, they get bothered, and then they get sensitive about it. But it's a hierarchy. You gotta use that as motivation to like try to become that person. You gotta try to become that person the trainer wants to work with. And like with Javier, he wouldn't work with me. So I want you to tell everybody how long it took for you to even like hold pads for me, because like you wouldn't. I was like mopping the floor for like years.
Yeah, I know it took quite a few years for me to work with you, and it was only due to the fact that Lynn, who was assigned to you.
He had to get assigned to me. That's how bad I was.
With Lynn, you know, but other than that,
Lynn Schultz,
you know, I wasn't going to train with you, you know, and when you were asking me to train you, I was like, no, I'm not, because I didn't want to interfere with Lynn, and so I had a hard time with that. But yeah, no, it's not easy, you know, and I only had so much time in the day. There was only so many people I could take, you know, so that's what happened then. Now, you know, I'm working about 24 fighters now. Back then, I was only working, I don't know, what did you say, Swick, 7?
Yeah, 5, very 6, few. 7. Very few, yeah.
Now I have about 24 that I work. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then back then, a lot of people didn't realize, but I had sleep apnea. And if anybody knows about sleep apnea, man, it's a bitch. You have no energy. You get no sleep. You get 1 hour, 2 hours sleep. Some days I would go 3 days without any sleep. So I'd come in the gym and I'm going to do the littlest amount possible. I'm not, you know, people want me to train and this and that, but man, I could just barely get up off the damn chair, you know, because I was so tired, you know. And of course, you know, after the third day of no sleep, you get the sleep because your body's going to eventually fall asleep. But I had a big problem with sleep apnea, and then, you know, I got insomnia from that. I couldn't sleep at all. You know, I was like crazy. And nobody understood that, and I never really said anything about it. But with time, people knew that what I was going through, and so that contributed also to why I didn't work as many people, and why I'm working 24 now versus back then I only had like 7.
Yeah, but it was like a hierarchy thing, you know, because he had so much time, so he had to work with the guys that were, you know. And the thing is, though, I will say this, though, once it came to the point where I got sick and, you know, my health deteriorated and I was, you know, my career was kind of falling back down, the one good thing is Jav never left my side. So it wasn't about like who's going to make it and make the most money and be the most successful. It's just about getting to that point. Once you get to that point where you earn Jav's respect and you proved yourself and you know, he was there to help you, he stayed with you, man, because Jav helped me more than anybody through my downside of my career when I was sick and when I was having the struggles and, like, you know, so up and through all my last fights.
Yeah, you know, the one thing that I did back then that I still do now, and I'm actually better at it now, is I take care of everybody. I don't have to hold mitts for you to take care of you. I take care of you by watching you, seeing how you should fight, seeing what you should work on, you know, letting you know you need to go home, you know, the sparring partners, the fights you shouldn't take, the fights you should take. You know, there's a lot to it. It's not just mitt holder. I'm not a mitt holder. You know, I'm not the best mitt holder. You know, what I am is the person that gets your mind strong and get it ready for battle. And I do that with everybody. I did that way back then. Even though I didn't work the guys physically on the mitts, I worked them, like Swick said, mentally, and I took care of them. I made sure they were okay. That I always did. So when I say I didn't work with somebody, that's just mitt holding. That's not, I didn't spend time with them. And I cared about all my guys. I loved all my guys. Yeah. Didn't matter whether they were going to make money or not make money. I loved all my guys and I took care of them. But the actual physical part, that's the part that I was assigned certain people. And then that's why I took like the 7 I did.
Yeah. So tell me something about DC. So tell me some funny story about DC that I may have missed since I was gone a lot over here building a gym in Thailand. As he became a champion and all that. I missed all that stuff. So
DC is, man, he was a bully in a fun way, but he was a bully. I'll tell you the one thing he did that I couldn't believe he did this to me. So anyways, Jake Shields was in the gym sparring this guy named Matt Majors. And Jake Shields was pretty much smashing Matt, like he did everybody. He usually smashed mostly everybody he ever sparred. So Jake smashed Matt Majors, and, you know, and I'm thinking no big deal, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, so they got off the ring, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, Jake's going after Matt Majors, and I'm wondering what the hell's going on, and they got in a real fight. And I'm like, I'm looking around and I see DC's laughing, and I'm like, I go, hey DC, I go, dude, what are you doing to me? He goes, what do you mean, Hob? I go, you instigated that fight. He goes, oh, you saw that? I go, yeah, I saw that. I go, what the hell are you doing to me? I go, please don't do that to me. My job's hard enough as it is to keep these guys in line. But he pulled strings. He pulled strings to get guys going at each other, you know. And there's a lot of stories about DC. The funniest part about DC and Luke Rockhold, I'll tell you this one. Myself and Crazy Bob, we're up in the pro training room where they do the air dyne. And DC and Luke were jabbering at each other back and forth. I don't know exactly what was going on. Well, anyways, next thing you know, Luke kind of tests DC somehow, and DC gets mad, gets off his bike. They both get off the bike, and DC comes at Luke with bad intentions, right? And Bob and I go, oh, shit. So I jumped in front of it. DC's throwing the left hook right at Luke's face. As I jumped in, guess who received the punch in the face? Me. He nailed me with the left hook. Boom. And I'm like, what the hell? Didn't say nothing. Didn't say I'm sorry, Hob, or nothing. No apologies, no nothing. We got him back on the bikes right away to do the next thing. Now I'm holding the Thai pads for knees, right? And what does DC do? He knees me right in the frickin' jaw. Instead of hitting the pads, he hit my jaw, square in the jaw. And I'm just like going, and you know what he does then? He's apologetic for that. He's apologizing. Oh, I'm so sorry, Hob. And I'm like, I go, that was an accident. I go, how come you didn't apologize when you left hooked me? I go, that was intentional, you know. But you intended to hit Luke, but you hit me. But he didn't apologize for that. He apologized for an accidental knee. That guy, I have so many stories.
And it's good to point out they're best friends too. Like it's not like they don't like each other.
They're the best friends, but at that time they were throwing down. Luke was going to throw down with him, and DC threw the first punch. Yeah. And like I said, it landed right in my jaw.
Is it Mihab, or so he's doing a great job as an analyst and a commentator, but judging DC by his gym humor and his gym stories, I still don't think people have seen how funny and charismatic DC really is, because I see him as a commentator and analyst, and he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's really good, but man, at the gym, like my stomach hurts sometimes. How funny this guy is. I mean, he's absolutely hilarious at the gym to train with.
He's hilarious. Yeah, he is hilarious. And I'll tell you what, you know, you will never find a more kinder, actual real world champion that gives back like nobody's business. I've never in my life seen anybody that's a world champion, a celebrity, superstar in the MMA world, and still gives back to the kids. He's still there teaching the kids. I've yet to see one person that's at his position give back to kids the way this guy does. I've seen charity things where a guy will come out there and he'll play with the kids and do this, but I haven't seen anybody do it on a continuous basis. This guy here, he's getting ready for a fight, you know, and by all rights he shouldn't be out anywhere. So he is out there wrestling these kids on a Saturday, guiding them through matches rather than being at home resting up for a very important fight. He's out there coaching these kids to wrestling. It's unbelievable. I mean, I've never seen anybody give back like that kid. And on top of that, he pays for a lot of the kids to go travel too. He pays their airfare, pays hotel, pays food, pays for them to go and compete because the parents maybe are a little short on funds and this and that, or maybe they're not. He just pays for it anyways. You know, he doesn't get enough credit for what he does all the way around. As a teammate, as a team captain, I mean, he's unbelievable. He helps the gym in so many damn ways. It's just ridiculous. It's hard for me to really say all the good things he does because he's an incredible human being.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have him on the podcast, just to show what kind of ambassador he really is. You know, like, I mean, when he went with Jones, for those fights, and like he would get booed over Jones, I was just, man, there's nothing that bothered me more than that. Not comparable to Jones or anything, but just the fact that, like, if these people knew who they were booing, like who he really was, they would never boo. Like, this guy in and out of the ring is just such a true champion. So, you know, that's why I wanted him on the podcast and kind of try to open up that side of him, which I think we did a little bit, but just a great guy, you know.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. If they really knew him like you and I knew him, they would love him. Yeah. They really, truly would love him and respect him.
Yeah, it's crazy. So who do you have at headquarters coming up that we need to look forward to? That's the next big stars.
We have quite a few up-and-coming guys that just happen to pop in the gym. I have this one kid that I believe is going to be great named Daniel Allen. He's about 170 pounder, good looking kid. I think that we can expect some big things from him. I have another one I call Little Manny Pacquiao. His name Mark Clamaco. He's going to be fighting his second pro Muay Thai match this Saturday. He's got one MMA win and pro, and now he's going to have another one in kickboxing. He's a great prospect. I have another kid called Sugar Shane. He's going to be good. We have Kyle Crutchmer, who was All-American from Oklahoma State. He's got unbelievable potential. Another guy, Romero Cotton, who's a 3-time national Division II national champion. He's going to be great. Fernando Gonzalez from Mexico, who's a professional boxing, 11-0 as a professional boxer. He's 2-0 as an MMA fighter now. Expect great things from him. Another guy that has already been in Bellator, who's done well, is Andre Filo. Once Andre's got the mental all together, he's got the body, he's got the power, he's got everything. He just needs to click mentally, and he's going to do good. And, of course, there's Justin Willis, who's in the UFC now. Yeah. Who's going to do big things? Arjun Singh, Buller. Arjun Buller. I'm sorry, Singh. What the hell am I talking about? Arjun Buller, who trains with us. He's from Canada. He's the first Indian from India. That descent India that's in the UFC as a heavyweight, and he was successful in his UFC debut. And expect big things from him. And you remember, in India, you got a 1 billion plus. Fan base that he has. He's an incredible fan base, and of course I have Alejandro Perez, and who's in the UFC. He's fighting December 9th, and Gabriel Mosley Benitez also. He's fighting on December 9th. Those guys are already there, but the up and coming guys is the other guys I mentioned, Daniel Allen, Romero Cotton, Kyle Crutchmer, and Mark Clamaco. Those guys got something special.
It's good to see the team's so big and strong on both sides of the world. Yeah, we're all proud about what we're building up over here now, and to hear 15, that.
You've got
to hear what you've got over there. It's just better and better every time we talk.
24, he said.
So when you come back over to Thailand, and
I'm thinking, I being that it's high season now, it'd be nice to come over there now, but I'm not going to be able to due to Habib's fight, and knowing me, it's probably going to be summertime again, when probably low season over there. But still, to me, in Thailand, there should never be a low season. As great as AKA Thailand is, and Thailand in general, there should never be a low season. You guys should be flowing with clients all the time, because it's a great vacation, great Thai boxing, great MMA. I mean, you get everything in one over there. And the most important thing, and everybody needs to know this, is the price. The price is like Jesus Christ. I come here and I have breakfast, and I can only feed myself for $20. Over there in Thailand, you feed 4 to 6 people big giant meals for the same amount. Yeah. It's our American dollar is worth quite a bit. Over there, it's like what, 34 baht to the $1, right?
Yeah, 33, 34. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, so you can live like a king over there, and who doesn't want to go on vacation and have a beautiful apartment overlooking the water and the whole bit, and then have great training all the way around? It's a great getaway vacation for someone that seriously just wants to have fun in training and learning Muay Thai or MMA, or the serious guy that wants to really up his game. Thailand's the place to go, man.
Well, cool.
Of course, I'm sure. Huh? I think they paid me.
Nice
they
plug.
Sent me like 12 shirts, so that's payment for me giving the speech. So I hope I get another 12 shirts.
I'm gonna give you 12 more shirts for that.
Yeah, we got some new ones coming.
We got Jeff on his way there right now. I mean, I appreciate you wear them all the time, so that's awesome. And obviously you're a co-owner of the gym too, but it's cool to see you wearing them all the time and showing support. And the gym's getting busy, so it's getting more and more busy every month. And like I said, we're building big fighters like Amir Ali Akbari. He's a rising superstar now. He's fighting on New Year's Eve, the big New Year's Eve card. He came in yesterday, I think, and he'll be in tomorrow for his first day of training. Yeah, so it's cool to have like that. You've built from the ground up stars over and over again, but it's good to finally for us to build somebody from the ground up, and like we have with Amir, from his first MMA session to now being a superstar and rising. So Yeah, it's a good feeling, man. I'm glad everything's going good on both sides, and it's been great to have you on the podcast, and we'll have to get you back on here when you get some more champions.
Yeah, you got a lot going over there with Amir, and then you got Anastasia. You know, Anastasia is 100% really, really special. She's really special because if anybody's watched her fights, she's got more balls than the biggest king in the world, I think, in my opinion. I mean, tough. that woman has got courage from hell. I can't believe how courageous she is and what she does to get that win. She'll probably rip off her own arm just to get a win. You know, that's the type of mentality she has, and she's a talent and she's a beauty. So if anybody gonna follow anybody, she's a superstar. She's a star now, but she's gonna be a superstar. Absolutely.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on, Javier. You know you're always our favorite guest. We'll be having you back on as you build more and more champions. We're just trying to do what you do, man. I'm trying to be like you over here and build this side of the world up and have AKA keep conquering the sport, you know. And so I want to thank you for all the help you've given me in my career and continue to give me with AKA Thailand and coming over here and now making this podcast even better.
You guys are doing an amazing job over there, and you know, you took what I had over here and you made it 2.0 over there. You made it better, you know. So I expect bigger things from you over there than they're going to happen over here. So you're doing a great job. Keep it up. Mark, you know, eventually I'll see you fight, but I'm sorry I won't be able to work your corner or work you, you know, in any way, but I'll be there to support you, bro.
Well, don't say never.
Defeat, I'll be there for you.
I plan on getting sponsored by Nike or something, so I mean, I can get you out here.
I got connections to Nike, you know.
Tell them to text me.
Are they into fighters that's never had a fight in their life and they're doing their first Muay Thai fight? Is that what Nike's looking for?
Well, I think if they hear about Mark's resume and stuff, I think that they will sponsor him. I think that'd be, you know, sponsors would be just jumping at the chance to get on with a great star like him that, you know, he's becoming, you know.
Just do it. Amazing. You know, that's why they say that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it, bro. You got it. I could tell. You know, I don't want all the credit to come to me. So if I train you, everybody's going to say it's due to me, but I want you to do it on your own. Everybody needs to see that.
Well, I don't even know how to react to that. That hurts my feelings. I'm used to you making me feel like shit, though. Thanks.
I'm glad I made you feel good. That's what I'm here for.
Well, hurry back.
Thanks.
Hurry back, though. You don't have to train me. I don't want to hurt you holding pads and all that, but it'd be nice to see you again.
We're going to go hang out at the restaurants, not at the whatever that place was.
Yeah, I told you we shouldn't go there. But
yeah, I wanted to go, you know. No more.
Twisted my arm. I'd never been there. Thanks for introducing me to that place.
That market there is whatever. Too many people walking around picking pockets and stuff.
It's a little much.
All right. Well, I know it's morning for you, and you got fighters to train and everything. So, again, thanks for joining the podcast. And do you know two cooler people than me and Mark? We have to ask.
Yeah, no cool two people that. Well, actually, you know, your driver, Phuket, he's pretty cool.
Oh, shout out to Phuket.
God, we were undefeated till right then.
He's pretty cool, dude.
Phuket's a cool dude.
Cool.
How the hell do you remember his name?
So when I do come back, I'm sorry, but I'm probably spending a little bit more time with him. He's a pretty cool dude.
Phuket's the man.
Hope he's getting insulted.
He's been driving me for.
You'll be too busy working. Mark will be training, and you'll be too busy running the great empire you're building. So Phuket will have all the time for me, like he did last time. So I look forward to hanging out with him.
Javier, do you have any idea what my last name is?
No.
All right,
what is your last name?
It's Rock Bottom. That's what it is. That's my fight name. That's where I'm at right now. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a cool name. You know what? They have a brewery over here in San Jose called Rock Bottom Brewery. Is that yours?
It's named after him.
Are they hired? Yeah. Shit. Wow.
Is that yours?
No.
You're so many things going on.
I don't drink. I would never own a brewery.
Huh?
I would never drink that. I would never own a brewery. Hence, because I fight, that I work at an MMA gym. I guess that didn't make sense, but he's frozen now. See, he's done. He's playing
someone stole your name, bro. Rock Bottom Brewery. I mean, they took the mark out and they put rock in there.
It's actually Bogutsky, but I don't know. I'll text you later. Wow.
Okay.
He's gonna cry now.
Yeah.
I got to deal with this for the next 2 days.
I look up to him. And now,
this is good, though, because it knocked him down a peg. You know, he thinks he's a superstar after these couple podcasts. He got a few comments on the last one, thinks he's a big shot. Now, there you go. Get knocked down a little bit.
Well, with the Dana comments, he was spot on, but I was really shocked with the Mickey. You just shut the fuck up. Not a word. I was like, dude, you had some great opportunities, and you just, nothing. Nothing.
Hey, but see, y'all are used to, like I said,
host, dude. You're a great host, and you were like, starstruck, Mickey Rourke, and then with Dana White, you were throwing all the blah blah blah. What the hell?
Well, we made fun of Mike. That's how we opened it up, so it was easy.
What is it about Mickey? What is it about Mickey? Is it the fact that he has 5 little dogs and you love that? He's more of your hero type guy now, or what?
He has better hair than all of us, so yeah, it throws us off.
Okay. All right. He was a cool guest, man.
It was great having him.
His favorite,
everything. That was pretty cool.
His favorite Mickey dog is Little Gay Joe.
I love Little Gay Joe.
That's his favorite.
Little Gay Joe?
That's his favorite dog for Mickey.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty cool, dude. I mean, that guy's had some pretty interesting stuff. I mean,
he's got a good life.
I really enjoyed his podcast with you guys.
Yeah, we were his very first podcast ever, so that was pretty cool. In our first 10 podcasts, to do, you know.
You think he'll do it again? You think you'll get him again?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, he owes us some photos.
He was very interesting. A lot of his stories were very cool. I didn't even know about the Tupac thing, and there's a lot of things that he was saying out there that I'm sure the general fans didn't know anything about. You know, hey, he's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's really cool.
All of them were. All the guests so far.
Yeah.
Charles Bennett. Did you see Charles Bennett?
I love Bennett. You know. Well, I showed you my naked ass. I want to see pictures of you.
He's a character.
That was a fun one.
He was going with that. I didn't know where he was going with that. I'm thinking, is he trying to go on the gay side here just to try it out, or is he really? Does he really do that?
We didn't know either.
And all of a sudden, you realize that no, he's actually just wants to make sure that guy doesn't frame him, so he has something on him. So I'm like, okay, I get it. But at first, I didn't get it. I was thinking, is he like one of these guys that fuck it, I'll try anything once? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, you know, we don't discuss what we're going to talk about to the guests beforehand. You know, we just kind of let it roll. So we did not see that one coming, especially, I mean, obviously with him.
And he was chasing down a digital photo, by the way. I'd like to point that out.
It wasn't a Polaroid. Photo. It wasn't one off. You know, I mean, it's
just if you think about that for a second.
What someone should do if they watch you guys' podcast, they should put that guy in a reality show, or they should put him in some kind of movie, a comedy. He could be one of those comedic kind of guys in a movie. You know, I really do feel that he has that kind of look and the nuttiness in him to make it work. Especially a reality show. I think he'd be great in a reality show. I would follow him.
He's watchable. He's watchable. I was strolling through my Instagram the other day, and he was on Instagram on live, and I happened to click on it because it's Charles fucking Bennett, right? Yeah. And he's just smoking weed, and he's just like moving his head and just saying weird stuff, and I just watched it. I couldn't stop watching it. I don't know.
Yeah,
like, even just smoking weed.
Remember Rich Crunkleton, Swick?
Yeah.
Remember Rich Crunkleton? Yeah. Well, Rich Crunkleton and Charles Bennett used to be buds, and Rich Crunkleton would say that him and Charles would sometimes be out in Florida and whatnot, and people start fights with him and Charles Bennett. So him and Charles would take turns beating up these big bastards because they took these guys for nothing. So him and Charles Bennett would actually get in fights with these guys and actually whoop them. You know, talk to Rich Crunkleton about it.
Crunkleton was like the Bennett of our team.
Him and Charles Bennett, how they would just smash up on guys because they're picking on these guys, you know, little guys, this and that. So they'd be smashing these guys.
Yeah, Crunkleton was crazy, man. That dude was crazy. Yeah, he was crazy. Old school MMA fighter. Look him up. Sure dog him. You'll see. Dude was legit. I mean, he was good, man. He fought Hermes Franca in the UFC. I mean, he fought in the UFC. Damn. Crazy dude though. Crazy dude.
The question is, did he really ever train though? Really?
Not really.
He
did, but like he did. He missed his potential. I think.
I just think he was just supernaturally gifted.
Super.
He's gifted. A fighter at heart, and that's it. Yeah. Except I don't think you should ever mess around with you know, gay fighters, because remember he got his ass whooped in jail when that happened. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm talking about Charles Bennett again.
Trying to defend himself against. He tried to help another guy that was being bullied, and the bully that happened to be gay, I guess, whooped his ass.
Never know, man.
pretty admirable of him to admit that he got his ass whooped, you know?
Yeah.
By trying to defend somebody.
Well, that and also going to another man's house who's been sending him naked pictures too to try to like take his digital photo. I mean,
we're gonna get Charles on here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta have him
He's
on.
an interesting dude, man, for sure.
I'd love all repeat guests, man. They're all great.
Yeah, we'll do it for sure.
I think you guys should do another thing and ask the fans who they'd like to see back, and I think Charles Bennett's going to be right up there. I think Dana, Mickey Rourke, and Charles Bennett are going to be the top 3, in my opinion.
Oh, come on.
Oh, what about Javier Mendez?
You know Javier Mendez is going to be up there.
Come on.
Nah, I'd probably hit. I'll probably hit in the top 12 or maybe 13. You guys have 13 yet?
No.
Yeah, I'm at 13. I'll probably be 13. I'll be 13. It's okay. I know my position.
You know, Christian was number 1.
Those guys are stars. I'm not. I'm just a coach.
You remember old Christian was our very first guest ever.
I'll be Christian. I'm more interested in Christian. I'll take that.
There you go.
Oh, that sucks. I love Christian.
The Christian, right? Christian's too lawyer-like, you know. He's just too politically correct. I might say things that, like, fuck you, Mark, that type of thing.
Yep.
Christian won't say that.
Why to me? What the hell did that come from?
I can't do it to Swick. He's my boy.
See?
We're not?
I don't even know your last name, Mark.
Yeah, I guess you don't even know my last name. Do you know what it starts with?
No. You said rock bottom, right?
Rock bottom. Just rock bottom for short. That's his nickname from now on.
Mark Bottom. Mark Bottom, right?
Mark
like
Bottom.
Rock Bottom, but Mark Bottom.
That's where you use it.
Oh, it sucks you got to go, Javier. Man, we really enjoyed you on here.
Bottoms up, Mark.
Now he laughs.
Wow. I'm ready to go to bed.
Well, we'll let you get back to doing all your important stuff like training fighters and not messing with Mark.
Quit
so you can
fucking up my self-esteem.
I'm actually going to go have a meeting at a restaurant, my Flames restaurant, my favorite restaurant. I'm going to have a meeting in about a couple minutes. So, yeah. Mark, you're biting into my breakfast time, so go do some training. You should smoke your average 2 packs a day cigarettes to get you ready in about
Holy
a couple
fuck!
years.
I've never smoked 2 packs in my life. Oh,
he knows how much you smoke. He doesn't know your last name.
I don't smoke 2 packs a day. Do you realize how hard that is?
I think he does.
You smoke more? You smoke more?
I don't smoke 2 packs.
Last time you were smoking like a train.
Yeah.
You were smoking crazy, bro.
No.
You probably forget.
He lights his next cigarette with his current cigarette.
Yeah, with one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bed. I've had enough.
All right.
I got my ass kicked this episode.
I got to go. I'll see you guys.
All right, Hop. Thanks,
all right,
man. I'll see you later, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. See ya.
I'm going to hang up now.
Yeah, we see that.
We're just going to wait for you to hang up. It's awkward.
Yeah, here it goes.
So long
1,
it takes
2, 3. Bye-bye. Mark, this is for you again. See it, Mark.
Wow. Thank you.
I don't think he can leave.
I
don't think he can leave. I think you're
No,
stuck.
you hang up first. You hang up first.
Okay, I'm going to hang up.
I think you're stuck.
Hang up. Bye, Mark. And I'll give you 2, Mark. You gotta go.
He's still flicking me off.
Mark.
What the fuck? They're not even on camera and I can feel it.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, wow.
He couldn't leave. So, wow. There we go. Javier Mendez. Always a good conversation.
For you.
You have noticed that we've done really good at not ending the show. We've done really good at like wrapping the show up and then it never ending. Like Charles Bennett was a good example. There was another one, and then this one.
Well, Dana White.
Because I'm thinking like he's busy because I know he had a meeting and I know he had to train the fighters and stuff. So I'm trying to take as less time as possible and let him get going. But we just kept getting back into conversation. So I guess it flows so well that it's just really hard to end these podcasts.
To be fair, I kind of wish it would have ended a little earlier.
I know. I could see that.
I got my ass kicked.
I started liking that a little bit toward the end, I'll be honest.
That literally ruined my self-esteem for the next 30 minutes.
That was worse than doing the worst thing ever in UFC history?
Now, does Dana White know your last name?
Well, yeah, but...
I've worked for this guy for 3 years.
Technically, I guess you have.
It kind of hurts my fucking feelings, you know?
Well, yeah, no, maybe he was... We'll slide on the fact that maybe he was joking. Maybe he was just... Probably not. Maybe.
I think he would have at least thrown out the first
it's a weird
letter.
Fucking name, Bogutsky. I didn't know your last name either until probably you moved here, 20 years in.
Wow, this is going well.
It's a fucking hard last name to remember, dude.
Who cares? At least lie.
You got to rhyme it with
Bojetski. I hear the dumbest shit. Gobutsky. They're always dumb shit when I was a kid. But I figure, the guy,
your idol.
I mean, I look up to him, man. He's an unbelievable human being. But
if all these stars that we interview don't know you now you're upset and hurt all of a sudden.
Mickey Rourke knew my last name.
The first one, you were just like, oh, I can't believe we talked to this guy for so long. This has been a dream come true. Now it's like if they don't know your fucking spelling of your last name, you're all butthurt.
Well, I get it. Some of these guys, but like I said, I've met him 16 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but it's not like you talk about your last name, though.
Well, I mean, he's got an Instagram or some. What is it? The Facebook? Something. Shit. He texts me all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
I think he was kidding. We'll just go with that.
I think it was a joke, yeah.
Trash him on the comments, though, guys, please. He needs some.
They don't know my last name either. Fuck. Maybe if I was in the name of the show, that would help some shit.
Somebody give him a new last name. Something.
What's rock bottom according to?
Yeah. Y'all come up with a new nickname or last name for Mark Bobetsky in the comments.
Shit.
It's all right, buddy. They're gonna know it after this because we've said it like 50 times. So if they didn't know it before, they're gonna definitely know it now.
Bogetsky. So I mean, it was a good show.
Yeah, not bad.
Bogetsky.
Not bad. Again, it was a little bit since we've had a last podcast with Nick, and but we're back on track, and we really wanted to get Javier on for a while. Wanted to get our groove down first, obviously, and now Habib's got his fight coming up, so I want to talk about that a little bit, and Cain, obviously, having the baby thing, which is very important.
Yeah, congrats to him.
TC living the life as a commentator and analyst, and holding that shiny belt. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's just great, man, to see the team. I mean, like when I started out with this team, it was just a bunch of guys. That was it, a bunch of friends, and like to see now that all these guys are like so famous and all different.
It still amazes me. Every third person he named was in the UFC. Even like the new guys he named at the end. It's like, damn.
And dude. Fitch, just beating Jake Shields and
AK's gonna have to start fighting each other because I mean they're running out of people on the roster that aren't AKA. Damn.
It's great, man. It's great to have been a part of that since the beginning. So it's cool talking to Hav, and I wish we could see him more,
Yeah, I wish he would corner
maybe
me.
I just like him more because he knows my last name. But
well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
No wonder he won't corner me. Does he even know where I work?
That was harsh. He just said no. I mean, usually, like, I'm sure Mickey Rourke's not going to corner you, but at least he says yes.
I'll rub your nuts or whatever he said. This guy just kicked me in the nuts verbally.
Yeah, that was pretty harsh. But he's honest. That's the thing about Javier. You get what you hear. I mean, he's honest. So
I'm gonna put a Yelp review on AKA San Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he didn't know your last name.
Yeah, that kind of.
Great. So anyway, thanks for viewing another episode, or watching or listening if you're on an audio platform. Another episode. A big shout out to the Underground Forum, Reddit. Please leave a comment under this video on YouTube. We will choose one of you to get a free training package at AKA Thailand, which we've already said is the premier training facility in the world.
That I will agree with.
On planet Earth.
We got to pick two because we didn't pick one for this one since it was so rushed. So there will be two winners next episode.
Yep.
So talk your shit, guys. Do your comments.
Yep. Like I said, anything constructive. It doesn't have to be good. As long as it's constructive and tell us what you think and let us know that you're actually listening and paying attention. And as long as you guys are enjoying this, we'll keep doing it. And it's been going good, man. We're having fun and
good feedback.
A lot of good fighters coming up. So we'll keep these going. And yeah. Anything else?
Not at all. Good working with you again, buddy.
Not a bad job, huh?
I do a great job. You?
This one wasn't so good for you, buddy. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well,
it started okay, and then it just sort of went.
Will Smith's done a bad movie before, He happens.
Also had the most consecutive movies that gross over 100 million. Fun fact. Yeah.
Why would you know that?
I don't know. You can Google it, my man. Yep. He's had the most consecutive over $100 million grossing movies.
This I would assume would be the mid to late 90s.
Probably, yeah. It was, I think, the Independence Days and
that one he did with his kid when they're in outer space or something. Some kind of, what was that called?
I don't know.
They don't know what it's called. Yeah. That was horrible. Well, I guess that ruined Jaden Smith on being on the podcast, huh?
Yeah, I guess he's not joining us.
Oh well.
And no word from Shia LaBeouf either yet.
I don't blame him. He didn't know my last name either.
Okay, so now we're not even closing our own podcast. All right, so we'll let you guys go. Sorry.
All right, sorry.
And thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for the comments, guys, and we will see you next time.